Hello, 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 people. I just felt like clicking on and talking about something because I was listening to somebody's video. Uh oh. Oh, now I finally see my own alert. My alert just now went out. Hello. Somebody's looking. Hello, one person. How are you doing? Let me get ready to drive off. How are you doing, friend? You doing okay? How are you doing, friend? Uh, who else is here? Let me cut on my ear things. I guess I could just look down. I can't see. It's too. Let me put it here. Hello. I want to talk about something. I guess I just get started talking because the videos stay up anyway. The lives stay up, so I don't have to wait for a whole lot of people just to get in here. But how is it going? How's everybody's Thursday? Huh? How's everybody's Thursday? Anyway, looking at just taking a little look at Jessie Woo. I like to look at her. I like to look at different people for different things. Like I know I'm kind of spiritual. Well, not kind of, very, but I'm not like I don't have like I'm not just I'm multidimensional. So I like different things. I like different content creators and all that stuff. Right. Hold on a second. Let me look and see my directions here. Oh, and then left. Left on what? Oh, left on Columbus, I guess. Okay. Anyway, oh, it's saying to make a right. Okay. Anyway, so I was looking at Jessie Woo, because the title of the video is Straw. She said it says I saw the movie Straw. I have questions. That's the title of her video. So I wanted to see what she had to say about Straw because, like I said, I have yet to watch that movie. So I wanted to see what she had to say. For those that's just now coming in, I was saying the title of it is Xenophobia because I was looking at Jessie Woo's, I don't know if it's her latest video, but it's her video that's titled I saw the movie Straw. I have questions. That's the title of her video. And so I was just looking at it, and I'm not finished yet, but I wanted to talk about something really quickly. On that video, she talked about a few things, and then she got into, the protest, how there was a protest going on while she was at the BET Awards, going to the BET Awards and stuff like that. She co-hosted the pre-show or something like that. Hold on a second. And then she started talking about how then she got on brown people in their comments with the brown people in their comments about the ICE raids and protests and all of that stuff. And she talked about how she kept seeing on social media. She talked about how she kept seeing on social media so many brown people, probably majority brown women, brown American women, talking about this isn't our fight. This isn't our fight. And talking about let the people who wanted Trump to come in, that's their fight. Let them deal with that. It's not our problem. And I want to say the people who are involved, who are the immigrants, like she said, the immigrants are not allowed to vote. So they're not the ones that voted for Trump. But she was saying that she commented and said that these people, when they keep saying it's not their fight, it's not their fight, she is saying they kind of sound xenophobic. She is saying that they sound xenophobic, right? And people commented back to her and said, what are you talking about? Now I think they might not know, but some people might not know what xenophobia is, right? So xenophobia is people who just have a problem with foreigners. They don't have foreigners. They don't like foreigners. They don't like have a problem with immigrants. And so it sounds like she said all these comments are starting to sound xenophobic. And because I grew up, I was born and raised in the United States of America, and I am a brown woman, I see what they're talking about, but at the same time, I don't, people do what they want to do. But if something is not my fight, I don't have to get online and talk about it. There's a lot of things that's going on that's not my fight, and that doesn't mean I have to get online and talk about it. But when they kept saying that, it to Jessie Wu, especially her being a Haitian woman, she felt like it sounded xenophobic. But because I was born and raised in the United States of America, and I understand how brown women are always involved in somebody else's fight, in this case, they're not xenophobic. It sounds like that to Jesse because that's just how it sounds, I guess. But when you understand the history of the United States of America and how brown women have always just pretty much fought for everybody else but themselves, they fought for brown men at the front lines, the protest front lines. Anytime something happened to Latinos, they at the front lines. Anytime something happened to anybody, brown people are at the front lines, specifically brown women. Even when things happen to Africans, brown women are always at the front lines. Brown women are at the front lines to fight for transgender, right? They at the front lines to fight for transgender. And so I get what I don't see it as xenophobic, because I understand the history of brown women always putting everybody else before themselves. Brown women have a long history of being very long suffering. I'm talking about brown women in the United States of America. That's because, and there's probably brown women in other parts of the world too, but I know the United States of America, so that's the topic that I stick on. I don't talk about people when I don't know their culture that well. I don't talk about them. But brown women in the United States of America had a bad habit of being very long suffering. I think brown women are still long suffering because, while, all this stuff that's happening with Mexicans and Africans and all this stuff, it's not your fight. A lot of stuff that goes on in the brown community shouldn't be brown women's fight anymore too. Brown women need to really step away from the brown black community, because there's still a struggle trying to hold on to that community. But anyway, I get what they're saying because they probably felt like every time something happened to them, nobody cared about them. So this is not xenophobia. This is coming from a place of, brown women have fought everybody else's battles. Brown women have always been in everybody else's fight. Even when they didn't ask them to, they jump in everybody else's fight. Brown women, especially in the United States of America, always felt like they had to protect everybody. But when it comes to them needing protection, they didn't get it. And so that is where that is where that energy from a lot of brown American women, that is where that energy is coming from. It's not coming from them being xenophobic. It's not coming from them being xenophobic. But I'm not saying I agree with what they did either. I want to make that clear. I'm not saying I agree with what they did. I'm just saying that they're not xenophobic. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not saying I agree with them getting online talking about this is not our fight, because for me, there's a whole lot of stuff I see that's not my fight that I'm not about to jump in. But I'm not going to go around saying, it ain't my fight. Like, I'm not going to do that. There's a whole lot of stuff I can see that I'm not going to jump in the middle of. And the reason why, let me tell you why. It's not that I don't care. For some of us, we had to learn not to care. I had to learn not to care. I had to learn not to care. Because it took a while for me to realize just what kind of world I was in, specifically in the United States of America. It took me, it didn't take me a while to know. It took me a while to finally get to a place to learn not to care. Because it didn't take me a long time to learn it, but I had to unlearn my behaviors. And I had to learn not to care about people that much. I had to learn not to care about people. I had to learn not to care. Because I quickly saw that I was doing everything for other people, driving them around, doing whatever. And then when it came to me, there just was not a concern in the world. They were busy. And I had to learn not to care. And so I'm not saying that this is the same thing with these ladies, because I know it's mostly brown women, because I don't think no brown men talking about it ain't my fight. They don't fight for nothing anyway. I'm not trying to be funny. They didn't fight for themselves during the police shootings. They didn't hardly fight for themselves. Brown women was the one at the front lines, not them. So I just can't imagine that it was mostly brown men. I think it's mostly brown women up in them comments, because a brown men ain't fighting like that. Like that, they don't fight no way. I'm not trying to be funny. They just don't. Um, but yeah, yeah. So when I had to learn that what was going on with other people, I had to learn not to care about folks. Like I had to learn not to care, because when I need something, I need to use my energy for myself. Because anytime I need something, I need every bit of energy I got left to put to myself. Because I see that when I pour into other people, when it's time for me, oh, I shouldn't expect nothing. Okay, look, if I shouldn't expect nothing, then I need to be completely selfish. I cannot help other people. And this, unfortunately, is what a lot of brown women had to learn in the United States of America. I'm talking specifically in the United States of America, because when they go to other places, I've heard brown women say, when they go to places like Costa Rica and different places, it's like some places are more communal. Some places they welcome them with open arms. They're more nice. They don't feel like a what you would call quote unquote black woman. You don't feel like they're not treating you like a black woman, right? United States, you're treated like a black woman, but in other places, sometimes you're just treated as basically just an American. They don't treat you like you're black. And so, yeah, so I had to get to that point too, where I had to learn not to care. I had to learn to basically care about myself. I had to learn to care about myself. I had to learn that I came first. And when these brown women, they doing that, some of them, because I don't know them personally, so I can't just speak for them. I think what it is they have a very tacky way of saying that they're going to learn to take care of themselves first. They have a tacky way of saying that. Basically what they're doing is they're saying that we don't have time for everybody else's fight, because when we get all brutalized, the femicide rate for brown women in the United States of America is very high. A lot of stuff happens to brown women and nobody cares. And so what happens is they had a very tacky way of saying, oh, but it's not a fight, and it's that they have spent so much time and their energy putting onto other people and not themselves. And brown women in the United States of America have a bad habit of being Aunt Jemima. I made videos about how brown American women have that energy of Aunt Jemima on them, where they just, they're always caring for everybody else, but they don't do anything for themselves, you know? That's why I just want to say that I think that, I believe what brown women are doing is that they're finally saying that we're tired of fighting for everybody else, because nobody fights for us when we need somebody to fight for us. Nobody has our back. Okay? And so when they say that's not our fight, that's all they said is that we need to save our energy for ourselves, because if something happened to us, I'm talking about the brown women, probably what they're thinking. If something happened to us, they're not going to come and fight for us, so we're not going to go and fight their battles. Okay? Anyway, aside from that, okay, I'm at a stoplight, so let me see what's happening here. Hello, hello, hello. So aside from that, I do want to say though, like, it's good to tell brown women to learn to be healthy. It's good to tell brown women to learn to just have self-love. I'm on a different topic. When you tell brown women who they need to stay away from and leave certain men alone, and just give people with money and all this stuff, I think what's missing is self-love. Because when you work on having self-love, then you automatically, a lot of stuff you're going to repel stuff that's not in alignment. See, I want my soul to be in alignment with things that are of a higher frequency, right? So instead of, for me, and I'm on a different topic than xenophobia, I'm not on that topic anymore. For me, Yeah, it's good to tell somebody, oh, it's best to leave these folks alone. It's best to divest and all that stuff. But at the same time, I feel like the message should be more of self love and continue to work on self love, because when you really work on getting self love, then your soul is not going to be, and you're not going to be in alignment with the crazy stuff that you used to do. You're not going to be in alignment with those things anymore. And so you're going to automatically draw in the stuff that you always said that you wanted, but you weren't in alignment with it, so it couldn't come to you. And I feel like for brown women, that probably should be the message: is whatever you're saying you want, you need to become what you want. If you want somebody to love you, you need to become love. Okay? That is the thing to work in. You gotta love yourself first, because if you keep ignoring yourself, which a lot of brown women have a bad habit of doing, you ignore yourself to put everybody else first, and then wonder why people treat you so, why you get so ill treated by other people. It's because the way you treat yourself. That's a lack of self love. When you put everybody else first and you don't put yourself first, that's actually self hate. That's self hate. That's not self love. And so the universe is going to bring back. They're going to return the hatred back to you, because that's self hate. Okay. What else? I don't really think I had anything else to talk about. Yeah, I just feel like talking about that really quickly. I don't feel like I have anything else. If I do, I would just come back online and talk about it. But other than that, I'm just going to finish driving. And I will talk to you later.